Back at it again. And we've got one here with Tulsi Gabbard, who, as most of you know, is the ex-Democrat. And I saw the title of this one. I was like, oh, gotta check it out. The title is How Trump Caused Tucker Carlson to See the Truth. Interesting if you ask me. So, I wanted to check it out with you guys. Like, share, comment, hit that subscribe button if you're new. Make sure you're following me on social media too. All of those links are down below. And with that being said, let's dive in.
Was there a turning point for you? Like, were you always kind of cynical of these things, or was there some kind of turning point in your experiences that made you say, well, hold on a second, the things that I've heard and been exposed to and experienced, it's not actually what they've said it is, that there's something deeper and bigger going on here?
I mean, I think it was a little bit like Hemingway's description of going broke, gradually and then all at once. Yeah. So just, spending my life there, I was never that impressed by the people I lived around. I liked them a lot, but I didn't think they were smarter than me or wiser than me because I know them, Right. So I was never, and I lived in a world where like everyone went to Harvard, My grandfather went to Yale, like he was an alcoholic. Like that didn't mean, you know what I mean? Like I'm not impressed by merit badges and never have been.
Right.
So, but I wasn't against the system at all. Really what changed me was watching Trump in 2015. And I knew Trump before, because I'm in the media, so I'd known Trump, not well, but I'd known him for, 15 years before, right? A long time. And I was like, I thought he was kind of a buffoon. I still think that sometimes. But what changed my view wasn't Trump. It was the reaction to Trump among my neighbors. So Trump would say something in his like florid orange way, like, why are we funding NATO? And that was the one that got me. I remember this. And I'd never questioned NATO. Because I grew up during the Cold War, and NATO was the bulwark against Soviet aggression into Western Europe. And like my dad worked for the government. So like we were totally for NATO. Why wouldn't you be? But that ended in August of 1991. I was on my honeymoon when the Soviet Union collapsed, but we still had NATO in 2015. Like, what was the point? And I'd never thought about it in my life. And Trump's like, why are we funding NATO? And I thought that was a really interesting question. Okay, well, I don't know why. What's the answer? And my neighbors are like, shut up! He must be killed! It's like, okay, but maybe shut up, maybe he must be killed. But what's the answer to why are we funding NATO? Is there a good reason? Shut up!
That's interesting. And, we've really gotten into a time and a space where simply asking a question about something means that you're, somehow a traitor or whatever else, and it's just absolutely mind-boggling. So, like, we're not supposed to question anything? The establishment would like us to believe that, but, like, is that really where we want to be, where we just don't question anything? We just, la, 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 la. Oh, yeah, they said it's fine, we'll keep throwing money at it. It's okay, because they said so. And we're just not allowed to question? Not even ask the question? Like, you don't even necessarily have to be completely against it, but to simply ask a question, I think is fair. I feel like that's common sense. I'm just asking a question. Now, if you can't answer it, now I'm going to have even more questions. And if you start yelling, oh, you're crazy, shut up, then I'm going to have even more questions, which is the ironic thing about everything that you're seeing from the left right now, because that's exactly what they're doing. People are asking a question or even making a statement. Like you can't even be wrong anymore, right? You'll make a statement and maybe you're wrong, but they'll ban them on all social media, ban them on everything. That's misinformation, disinformation, and blah, blah, blah. It's ist and phobe and Xena and bliss and ban them off all. Like, I can't be wrong in my statements. I can't merely or simply ask a question. Now I have even more questions. And now all of them have even more questions too, because they just saw what you did to me. So they're all asking themselves, hold on, wait, he just asked a question. Why is he being shunned? So, yeah, you shut me down, but then you open the eyes of all of those other people. And I think the left doesn't quite compute that yet for some odd reason. I don't know. Maybe they do and just don't care anymore. But I feel like they're waking even more people up by attempting to shut people up. Because everybody's looking like, wait, what? Why? What happened to freedom of speech? That person was simply making a statement. Like, I may not completely agree with it, but who cares? Why'd you try to shut them down like that? Do y'all notice the same thing? Let me know in the comment section. I feel like it's actually working against their agenda by, trying to silence people. But hey, that's just my humble opinion. Y'all let me know how y'all feel.
Yeah.
They were so he must be killed. It's like, okay, but maybe shut up, maybe he must be killed. But what's the answer to why are we funding NATO? Is there a good reason? Shut up!
Yeah.
They were so hysterical about obvious and basically common sense questions about the way things were working that was a tell to me. I was stunned by it, actually. I was like, reasonable people who are acting out of honorable motives should be happy or at least willing to explain themselves. Like, what? Yes. Hey, Tulsi, why are you doing that? If you're like, shut up, then that tells me like you're doing something wrong. If you're like, well, here's why I'm doing it. You may disagree, but here's why.
Yeah.
They couldn't do that on any topic. Immigration policy. I've never been like, my best friend's an immigrant. I've never been against like immigrants or anything, but I was like, you should have control of your border. And Trump, in his Trumpian way, was basically arguing for that. They just couldn't deal. They couldn't deal with any questions about the way things were then operating. And when I saw that just completely exploded my view of the system. I was like, this system is a lot more fragile than I realized. It's a lot less legitimate than I realized. And then just the whole 4 years of Trump. And like, he'd say something that was like truly insane. Like, the intel agencies are spying on me. And you're like, okay, the intel agencies are not spying on, like, what, you know what I mean?
Right.
What are you like, was the moon landing fake too?
And 6 to 7 months later, we found out it was true.
Right.
And then you'd find out, like, a year later, actually the intel agencies were spying on him. And then everyone would be like, well, they had to. Wait, and you'd be like, wait, what? First of all, he was right. Second, I don't care whether it's Trump. I don't care who the president is. You can't spy on the president because he works for you. That's an attack on our system. No, it's totally fine. I would see stuff like that, and I was just like, you know what? I'm out. And we ultimately left the city, and we still have a million friends there. I have some of my closest relatives still live there. But I really became convinced that the system was not going to be enduring.
Interesting stuff there. And I completely agree. The left shutting out people or shutting up people just creates more questions. Why can't you answer a simple question? Why'd you shun that person off to the far corner? Because they asked a question or pointed out something. They made a statement about something. If they were wrong, prove them wrong. All right? Prove them wrong and let it be that. But no, you took them off all social media, all at once, all at the same time, which is also kind of weird. All of these different companies are supposed to be separate companies, but the way that was all coordinated and shut down off of all of them all at the same time, that if it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, well, it's probably a duck. Damn sure ain't a dog, okay? At least I would hope not. So yeah, I think that whole method is just a terrible method of even going about things. That's just my humble opinion. Maybe they know and just don't care anymore because they're like, we're going to do this regardless of whether they know we're doing it or not. But I think there's going to come a point in time where obviously there's more of us than there are of them. And there's going to be enough of us that have realized what is actually happening. And there's going to be enough where, we're going to stand up and say, no, we're done. You go do what you want to do. If y'all want to, go move out to Mars, y'all got the money to. So go move out to Mars if you don't feel Earth is safe anymore. But leave us alone. And they're going to have a choice to make. Try to gain support again or leave. What do you guys think is the It's the outcome of this whole situation. Let me know in the comment section below. Like, share, comment. Hit that subscribe button before you go. Peace and love. I'm out.